Good morning, booktubers. I am here with a reading update, which is something I have not done in quite a while. I only have 3 things to talk about today, but it's better than nothing, so I'm just going to get started. And I am going to attempt, keyword being attempt, to do the whole fancy picture-in-picture thing with the book cover. Yeah, I have to figure it out. I've never tried it before. So if you don't see anything, like in this area about, it means I wasn't able to figure it out. So better luck next time. But I'm going to try. Anyway, the first thing I will talk about today is a book I already talked about in a book talk video that I posted a few days ago. And it is The Day the Dead Showed Up to Show and Tell by Mira Grant. And it's a short story in her Newsflesh trilogy, which everybody who watches my channel knows is my favorite series of all time in the history of the universe and mankind. I'm not going to really say too much. Like I said, if you want to know more about it, watch my book talk video, which I will leave a link to in the drop down box. But it was really, really great. It made me really excited to read again. I read it in a day. Granted, it wasn't that long, but still. I thought, I'm reading this. It's fantastic. It's going to kickstart me into reading again. And it didn't really happen. But still, it doesn't take away from the fact that it was a great, great, great addition to the series that was amazing. A big, huge 5-star rating on Amazon and Goodreads. Now, the next book I wanted to talk about is called The Girl with All the Gifts by M.J. Carey. And I have mixed feelings about this book. If you look it up on Goodreads and Amazon and various other websites, all these reviewers and everything are screaming at you not to give away the plot. Now, I went into it not knowing really anything other than the description on Amazon, and I kind of figured out where the story was going within the first chapter or so. But that's just me. I like to ruin things for myself. But all I'm going to say is that the book opens, and it's about this little girl who I believe is 10. It's really sad. I just finished it like 3 or 4 days ago, and already stuff is sort of flying out of my memory about it. But it's about this little girl, and it starts with her being in a cell, almost like a prison cell. And these military men come to her cell door and open it, and they train all of these guns on her. And this is her routine every morning. They strap her down into a wheelchair. They tie her legs and feet to this wheelchair. They even tie her head, like they restrain her head to this wheelchair. And then they wheel her into a classroom where she's surrounded by other children who are also tied down into wheelchairs and being held at gunpoint. And this is her school. This is her, this is what she does in the morning. And this is normal everyday life for her. And that's how the book opens. And you sort of try and figure out where this is going. For me, it was kind of easy to figure it out, considering some of the books I read. But I was really intrigued by the story, and I have to say M.J. Carey writes really, really well, very lyrical. There were some points that were a little boring, almost, but I don't know. It was a relatively long book, about 450 pages, and I just felt like it went on too long, and it took me a good 2 weeks to finish reading it. The story kept me interested the whole time. It just wasn't, it didn't live up to the hype, for me, anyway. So I ended up giving it 3.5 stars-ish on Goodreads. Okay, and this is kind of a cheat because I haven't actually finished this book. This is the book that I'm reading right now, but I'm about halfway through, and I think I might actually finish it, so I'm going to mention it, damn it, it counts. And that is The Cypress House, and please let me get this guy's name right, Michael Kurita. I think that's how he pronounces it, I think. And this is a thriller, supernatural thriller, set in 1935 in the Florida Keys. And it's about this guy named Arlen Wagner. Go me for actually remembering the name of a character in a book that I'm currently reading. And it starts with him and this whole military group that are on this train going down for work in Florida. And he has this vision where he sees the people on the train with him turn into skeletons, and they have smoke coming out of their eyes. And this is how he knows that these people are going to die. So he tries to get everybody to get off the train, and only one person agrees to get off the train with him. It's this young 19-year-old kid named Paul. And they end up sort of stranded in the middle of nowhere in Florida, and they end up at this boarding house, which is called the Cypress House, right as a hurricane, a Category 5 hurricane, is getting ready to hit the area. That's just the beginning of the book. That's like the first 20%. And that's all that's in the description if you read about it on Amazon or Goodreads. So I'm about 40% into the book, and I'm thinking something's got to be happening, okay? Because, you know, a Category 5 hurricane hitting this town and finding out this guy can see dead people before they die is pretty damn big. And if that just happens at the beginning, I really hope that it doesn't just go on and on and on and on and then just sort of peter out, you know? I want to still be interested in this book when it's at the end. Yeah, so far I really like it. There are some sections that are a little bit slower than others, but again, Michael Kurita has a really unique sort of way of writing, and I'm enjoying it. I don't usually like books set in that time period, but it had a very sort of cool concept, and I like anything that sort of deals with um, nature and Mother Nature kicking humans' asses. So I like the whole hurricane aspect of it, though. But I have to admit, like I said, I'm only 40% in, and the hurricane part of it was like the first 20%, and I thought that would be like the big finale. But so I'm hoping there are bigger things to come. But I'm enjoying it so far, so that has to count for something. Yeah, so that's it. That's what I've been reading. I'm just lucky that I've been finishing stuff, even if it takes me a long time. I'm just happy that I'm finishing, because for a while there I was getting to about 50% and just giving up because I just couldn't. But yeah, hopefully things are getting better slowly. So that's it, you guys. If you want to know any more about the books that I talked about, the whopping 3 books I talked about this time, you can ask me, or I will try to remember